At 9-9 in the conference, tonight's game is a crucial one for Eastern Florida if they hope to make it to the postseason. Standing in their way, Broward College, a chance to move into first place in the conference with a road win tonight. Live from Brutes Bocce Field on Eastern Florida's Melbourne campus, it's the Titans and the Seahawks. Next. The first Friday in April has brought beautiful weather to Brevard County for the fourth meeting of the year between Eastern Florida State College and Broward College. With Alex Friedrich, I'm Austin Lyon. Thank you so much for joining us. 3 consecutive losses for the Titans. They now sit in 4th place in the Southern Conference, beginning this critical 2-game series against Broward.
That's right, Austin. It goes without saying this is a huge 2-game set for both teams. Obviously, for the Eastern Florida Titans, one of the teams standing ahead of them in the conference standings is Broward College. So in order for them to want to get that automatic bid to the divisional playoffs, be helpful for them to win these next 2 games and get through this.
Broward starting pitcher tonight, Michael Agus. He's gotten stronger as the season has gone along. He was the winning pitcher when these teams met back on February 17th. He's opposed by Josh Smith for Eastern Florida State College. Sophomore roughed up in his last outing, but an ERA below 3. The Broward batting order, Tyler Fichter leads off, first-team all-conference selection a year ago. Cleanup hitter J.C. Milan has been great against Eastern Florida. Yordani Salva and Joseph Colazo capable at the bottom of the order, both hitting above .330. Could not ask for a better day for these 2 teams to take the field. Important game in the Southern Conference as we bring the first baseball broadcast of the season here on WEFS. Josh Smith ready to roll. And the first pitch is a called strike as we show you Eastern Florida defensively. 10 errors the last 2 games. Got to clean that up. Diaz, Silverio, and Gomez in the outfield. And the Capra brothers on the infield as that pitch is fouled, hit into foul territory. And a nice play made by Angel Soto getting a start tonight at third base.
Josh Smith working early there. Getting the leadoff runner, that's definitely something Coach Tam had preached on, is getting that leadoff runner out first. It's always helpful. I mean, especially at the beginning of the game here, get the momentum swinging in their way early.
Fichter, a major threat if he gets on the base, is a big part of this Broward College offense. Alvin Swoop, sophomore shortstop, steps in.
Swoop hitting a strong .241, double and a triple, 10 RBIs.
Was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs in the last meeting between these teams. A 7-6 win by Broward. Last 2 games in this series decided by 1 run. 6-5 win for Eastern Florida and a 7-6 win for Broward.
Only has 1 bag on the season thus far. Not something you typically would see from a shortstop, but looks like gets on base quite a bit. Keep him up high in the order.
Smith misses up and away. 3-1 on Alvin Swoop. Hurt his back and shoulder on the 3rd day of the season. Missed significant time early.
Smith finding the zone there. Get back in there. See if he could command that fastball early. Work his off speed off of that. Keep him off balance.
3-2 pitch from Josh Smith. Swung on and missed. And he set down the first 2.
Smith looking very confident on the bump out there. Fell behind there quite a bit. Dialed right back in, threw a couple nice strikes. Retired Swoop.
Now Andreas Lopez, another player who missed some time early. Broward was rather indifferent at the start of the season. Really started to get on a roll here the last several weeks.
Very impressed after missing a few seasons. Also co-leader in RBIs for this Broward Seahawks team. Definitely safe to say he cashes in with runners in scoring position.
Lopez played for Puerto Rico in the 2008 Little League World Series. Now seeing his first action on the college circuit.
Big lefty. Definitely draftable. Is a bit high upside at least.
2-1 on the big first baseman.
Smith thrown quite a few innings thus far already. See if he can keep his pitch count down early in this game.
Lopez out in front of the off-speed delivery, 2-2. 43 innings pitch on the season for Smith.
Yeah, that was a beautiful changeup. Definitely pulled the string on that one. Swung right over top of it.
Second consecutive batter in which Smith has gone to a full count, struck out Swoop, and hoping to do the same to Lopez.
Lopez with a wide stance, looking to stay short with 2 strikes.
Called strike 3. A strong start for Josh Smith of Eastern Florida State College. Victor fouls out, Swoop and Lopez both down on strikes. Broward goes in order. Big confidence boost for the sophomore pitcher with a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, he didn't have such a great outing against Broward the first time up, but announcing his presence here early with a couple strikeouts and a weak fly ball.
Number 26, Yordani Salva.
Eastern Florida sitting at 500 right now in the Southern Conference standings, 21-17 overall. Top 2 teams automatically earn berths in the state tournament. Third team will have a play-in game, get to that point. Miami-Dade right now sitting in third, a full game ahead of Eastern Florida. Still a lot of baseball left, though. 10 conference games remaining for Jeff Tam's team.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left, but it can never be too early. You got to start making a cushion if you want to make a nice push for the end. And I think Jeff Tam realized that his guys are going to be ready to play today. They went down in the locker room. They seem ready to get things going, get a nice win under the belt, and carry it over to tomorrow's game.
That's the 4th meeting between these teams. Be right back here tomorrow. And it won't be long before they see one another again. April 10th and 11th. Next week, these 2 teams will go back at it. So 4 games in the span of 9 days.
Yeah, don't miss that. That's tough on the body, that's for sure. But they're young. They can handle it. Anxious to see how Michael Agus does here. He's got quite a few strikeouts and only 15 walks. It looks like he's definitely more of a strikeout pitcher. Let's see how these Titan batters deal with that, see if they have any kind of approach going into this one.
Luis Silverio leads off for Eastern Florida. Agus was outstanding in his last start against Miami-Dade. 7 innings pitched, scattered 9 hits, but allowed just 2 runs. Tough luck loser in a 3-2 defeat.
Last time Agus faced Eastern Florida, he actually went 6 innings with only 1 earned. But that game got out of hand as Broward ended up winning that bout 16-4.
I think the ERA for Agus a bit deceiving. It's just a shade under 4 at 3.94. But he has certainly gotten better as the season has gone along. Silverio chops it to third. Austin Langham solid in his first chance at third base.
Langham with a nice Sunday hop. Beautiful field out here at Bruce Bochy Field, tell you what. Beautiful playing surface.
As Silverio trots back into the dugout, we will show you the Eastern Florida State College batting order. Silverio in that leadoff spot certainly has been swinging it well the last several games. And now here is Nick Capra.
Capra, not a huge pop guy, but hitting .321 definitely shows why he's up at the top of the lineup here.
Only player on the team this season to appear in all 38 games.
Agus looking like he's trying to own that outside part of the plate here early, making these Titan hitters have to adjust. This is just one of the three Capper brothers on the team, I believe. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. Has two younger brothers, twins. Vinny and John. Vinny in the lineup today, John not available.
Bet that makes for an interesting practice week. Some competitiveness.
All three brothers play infield positions, so part of the time battling to try and get on the field themselves as Capper swings through a breaking ball.
Yeah, it was a great off-speed pitch there. Capper just a little bit on the front end there.
There's the Eastern Florida batting order.
First baseman.
The three Capras on the roster. Nick, the first of two in the lineup today. Reigning Conference Player of the Year, Christian Diaz batting fifth. And shortstop Vinny Capra rounds out the Titans order.
Lima with the slow start, hitting 156, but was second team All-Southern Conference last year, so look for him to heat up, especially in these important games down the season, or, you know, these last few games that really matter. You know, hopefully he focuses up just a bit more and digs in up there.
Lima steps out. Baseball was loose in the right field area. Got that back to one of the dugouts, so Lima will dig in with 2 outs. Nobody aboard. First 5 hitters have been retired here in the first inning.
Lima with 11 doubles last season, only 5 thus far. Needs to find his stride here.
Both Lima and Diaz not quite swinging it as well as they were a season ago. Christian Diaz when he was the Conference Player of the Year. Those two guys both above 350 last season, and neither one is hitting above 300 this year. Off the plate, 2-1 now on Lima.
That may just be a mental thing, or honestly, some cases they have scouting reports. They see, okay, how they beat us last time. Let's adjust and let's pitch our game, not pitch to their strengths. Ball catches the corner there. Anxious to see if Coach Tam tells these guys to scoot up on the plate. Make him handle that outside pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Alessandro Lima. And just like his counterpart Josh Smith, Michael Agus strikes out the final 2 hitters of the first inning. Each pitcher retires their respective top of the lineup in order. 2 strikeouts for both Agus and Smith in the first inning.
Well, they're going up hacking, and these pitchers are definitely going after these batters. Definitely know what's on the line tonight and tomorrow. Although you said there's 10 more games, it's still, like you said, it's, you know, it's nothing to let up about, you know.
The key for Eastern Florida to not put too much pressure on every game, every at-bat. Obviously at 9-9, it's time to make a move in the standings, but you can't press.
Yeah, as soon as you start pressing, most guys kind of try to do too much or try to play like a player they really aren't, whereas when they are playing to their potential and what they're used to doing, then it's much more fluent, not forced, and usually better results that way.
Ben Bezier, the coach at Broward College, identified this as the most important series of the season because he felt it was key to put distance between themselves and Eastern Florida, which is below them in the standings. Jeff Tam didn't go quite that far, but said with 10 conference games, every single one is important.
Absolutely. Definitely can't be looked at. I mean, it's almost just like getting insurance. You know, you're up in the 9th inning by 1. You're up to bat. You can't be like, all right, well, we got the lead. No, you want to score at least 2 or 3 more runs there to give yourself a little cushion going into the 9th, just in case if something were to get out of hand. You know, it's manageable. J.C.
Milan having a solid freshman campaign, 317. hacks at the first pitch into right field. Brandon Gomez settles under it.
All batters retired in order for Josh Smith.
Now batting the third baseman, number 7, Austin Langham.
That'll bring up Austin Langham, Broward College third baseman. Hitting at 283. Ben Bezier, his coach, described that as a loud 283 because he's hit so many line drives right at people.
I tell you, that's a frustrating thing, but definitely shows the confidence that Coach Bezier has in him, keeping him up there in the 5-hole.
Captain of this Seahawks team, counted on to hold everything together.
Yeah, baseball gods will even that out.
1-1 from Josh Smith. That one is lifted into left center field. Silverio looked like he lost it initially, had to pick up the pace to make the catch.
Yeah, it didn't look like the sun was going to affect that one too much, but a little windy day, wind blowing out to left field a little bit. Kind of drifted under that ball, but made the out. That's the important thing.
Those are the routine plays that have caused problems for Eastern Florida defensively. 10 errors the last 2 games, more than 60 on the season now. That's been difficult for pitchers to overcome.
Yeah, there's nothing more deflating than having a pitcher up there making pitches, getting you ground balls, double play balls, and going right between your legs or booting them. And really just it's a tribute to staying focused, staying in every single pitch. And it's hard to do, especially baseball is a slower game, but the intricacies of baseball demand you to stay locked in at every single pitch.
Ball and no strikes on Yordani Salva.
Little slider there, got away from him.
Switch hitting catcher takes a called strike, 2-1. Salva attended the Carlos Beltran Academy in Puerto Rico. 12 extra base hits this year, including 9 doubles. Another 1-2-3 inning for Josh Smith. A fly ball to each of the 3 outfielders for Eastern Florida. And Smith, impressive thus far. He set down the first 6.
Yeah, the ball looks like it's flying out to left quite a bit there. He got that ball off the very end of the bat, and left fielder didn't really have to move, so would not be surprised if we see a couple balls leave the ballpark tonight.
Been an up and down season for Eastern Florida. We mentioned defense has been the downfall of the Titans. Won 11 of 12 games from March 9th through the 27th. But since then, 3 consecutive losses, and time to get things back on track.
Absolutely, man. It's tough whenever you're winning like that. Everybody's confident and feeling good, and then you get that one loss, bam. Then you get the second loss and the third loss, and it starts to snowball. But you just need to have those leaders in the dugout to really stand up in front of the team and say, look, guys, look what we've done. Look how good we can be, and move on from that and remember what it was.
Here's how Broward will line up defensively. Outfield can certainly cover some ground. Swope and Langham solid on the left side of the Seahawks infield. And Yordani Salva, player who Ben Bezier refers to as the best defensive catcher in the entire state of Florida.
That's quite the compliment to pay. Haven't really seen too many base runners yet, so we can, I guess, wait to see that one. See if we try to get any movement on the pass.
Eastern Florida struggled down the stretch a year ago, finished 28-19 overall, lost 5 of their last 7 games to finish in a tie with Palm Beach State for second in the conference. Trying to erase the memories of that rough finish and play well down the stretch here in 2015.
Yeah, all it takes is a couple good things to happen, and go ahead and flush that memory and start your own memories.
Freddie Ramos, one of 3 Florida international transfers on this Titans roster.
Very good change up there. Pulled the string on that one.
Mentioned the numbers on Agus. Only 5 earned runs allowed in his last 27 innings after a horrific outing against St. Pete College to open the season.
Yeah, a lot of times those one bad outings can do some damage to your ERA. That's, I think, why he has a 3.94 ERA. But looking at his stuff early today, he looks like he's coming out on a mission.
You take away that St. Pete College game, he also gave up 6 earned runs to Palm Beach State in late February. But his other starts have been superb. Went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run when these teams met back on February 17th, and he strikes out Ramos. Now 3 consecutive Ks for Michael Agus.
Now at the plate, number 28, the left fielder, Christian Diaz.
Christian Diaz looking to get something started here for the Titans. Make sure he controls it. You can't let the pitcher control the tempo of the at-bat. That's the one thing that seems to happen whenever they get in these rhythms and these grooves. They just, boom, pitch 1, strike 1, and then you start swinging at some balls, and before you know it, you're 0-2, and then you're fighting. Stay alive.
He has a UNF signee, Conference Player of the Year a year ago. Hit .354 with 28 extra base hits. Had 8 home runs and 53 RBIs.
53 RBIs. Wow.
1-1 from Agus. Inside a called strike as Diaz turned out of the way in an exchange with home plate umpire James Kuhn.
Diaz disagreeing with that. Think that was a little inside, but Agus stuck it.
Able to lay off the breaking ball. Count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diaz has spent much of the season batting in the 3 hole for Jeff Tam. Coach opting to move him down, hoping to get him some more fastballs.
Yeah, a lot of times pitchers will adjust the way they throw to batters just by the order they're in, but right there he gets a fastball and swings right through it.
Foul tipped it into the glove of Yordani Salva. Agus has struck out 4 of the 5 hitters he's faced, with Brandon Gomez stepping in.
Gomez, not a very patient hitter, but he swings hard, so he runs into one. It could be out of here.
That's chopped to third. That ball was pretty close to Jeff Tam, and he didn't flinch. A look at Coach Tam in the third base box. 6 years in the major leagues as a pitcher with the Mets, Indians, Athletics, and Blue Jays. And an interesting discussion with him before the game. He was with the A's in 2002. Moneyball chronicled that 2002 season, and an actor portrayed him in that movie. The scene where Oakland played the Kansas City Royals to extend that historic 20-game win streak.
Yeah, it's got to be quite the memory. Pretty jealous, but watch the movie. It's a great movie.
Gave up a home run to Mike Sweeney in one of those games against the Royals. He said in the movie it went a lot further than it did in real life.
They're always so dramatic, aren't they?
1-2 pitch to Gomez, foul back. Agus and Josh Smith have combined to retire the first 11 batters of the game. Gomez hoping to bring that streak to an end. And it's now 2-2.
Gomez would rather be either a professional baseball player or a lawyer. Both very successful careers.
Very different careers,
yes,
to say as well. Low, and for the first time, Agus has a full count as he lost his hat during that delivery.
Salva popping up, thinking that pitch was going to be called a strike. James Kuhn, home plate umpire, disagrees. Full count.
That is popped up right along the first base line in fair territory. It's Andres Lopez that squeezes it for out number 3. Game dominated by pitching thus far. 2 complete innings. Neither team has a hit. Nobody has been on base. Scoreless between Eastern Florida and Broward College.
Yeah, it's almost like one of these teams, both these teams need to get some offense going just to give their pitchers a rest. I feel like they go in, 1, 2, 3, all right.
Nothing like what we had seen from these teams in past games. 16-4, 6-5, and 7-6. High-scoring affairs in their previous meetings this season. But Smith and Agus have brought their A game thus far tonight.
That's absolutely right. Wasting no time, getting ahead early, making these hitters chase balls that they wouldn't normally chase in a hitter's count.
Eastern Florida's athletic programs keep growing with 9 varsity sports now in action. Home games are played on the college's new state-of-the-art sports complex on the Melbourne campus that includes facilities for soccer, tennis, basketball, and baseball, and a planned new facility for softball going up this year. The complex hosts major national collegiate events such as the NJCAA Division I Women's Soccer National Championship Tournament and is a valuable asset to the community. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu and become a Titan today. This is a gorgeous park. There's still some work to be done here at Bruce Bochy Field.
Yeah, it is. Very impressed with the playing surface.
There's Ben Bezier, now in his second year as the head coach at Broward College. A well-traveled individual, grew up in Maine, to high school in Boston, college in North Carolina. Played overseas in Germany for a couple of years before deciding to get into coaching.
Number 6, Joel Palazzo.
Josh Smith getting looked at by Mercer and UCF, showing some interest in the sophomore pitcher. UCF, that's my alumni, huh? Gotta shout it out, always do.
A fantastic season so far for Terry Rooney and the Knights. As high as number 4 in the country they have been ranked this year.
Yeah, he's ecstatic too. I talk to him every now and then, and he has nothing but good things to say about the team. Says everybody's, clicking. Very, very good atmosphere in the locker room, and obviously their play has definitely showed that. Their offense is through the roof, leading the nation in a few different categories. So
Jeff Tam told us the Knights coaches would be out here to see Smith throw next week. It's 2-1 on Joseph Collazo, Texas Pan American commit, one of 2 on this Broward College roster. Eddie Delgado, right-handed relief pitcher, is the other. Paints the outside corner to even it up at 2-2.
Swinging a hot bat right now, Joseph is, with National Player of the Week in late February, going 9 for 13 in a 3-game stretch with 6 RBIs.
Eastern Florida knows that all too well. He was 5 for 5 against them.
Baseball is one of those sports where you get hot, you stay hot for a little while. Boost that average before you know it, 20 points in a weekend.
Another full count for Josh Smith. Struck out Swoop and Lopez on 3-2 pitches in the first. Hoping for a similar result with Collazo to begin the third. And there it is. Third strikeout for the Eastern Florida starter.
Right on cue.
Now at the plate.
These pitchers
Number 8,
got full counts quite a few
John
times. They're just
Spader.
not giving up at all. They're not submitting to the batters. And these batters, I think, really need to maybe widen their stance, choke up a little bit, and try to get the ball in play. Make the defense make an error, or especially, Eastern Florida has not had the best game defensively in the past, so my approach would be put the ball in play, make them make a play.
John Spada steps in. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. 1-1 on the sophomore DH. How much of that is mental when you start to make errors and then more come? You're just constantly thinking about that in the field?
Yeah, it's hard. I played in the outfield, so errors were few and far between in the outfield. But in the infield, definitely you start, maybe making excuses, saying, "Oh, that was a bad hop," But reality, you make those plays in practice, and you just got to just focus up and just realize it's a game. You're out there trying to win for your team, and that's all you can do. Just give it your best, and making errors isn't something that these guys do normally, so expect them to pick it up here. Spada with a little pop, 4 doubles and a triple.
And the first runner to reach base. Oh, Spada starting to trot down the line, and instead he's called back by home plate umpire James Kuhn. Ben Bezier will come out of the Broward College dugout trying to lobby for his DH.
I can understand the frustration from Coach, but it did kind of look like Spada kind of threw his ankle out there a little bit, but ultimately it's home plate umpire's call. I don't see it getting reversed.
Kuhn giving Bezier a chance to share his thoughts. But I don't think I've ever seen a call changed when a coach comes out of the dugout to argue.
It's very rare occurrence. It's usually the ones that you do see changes where somebody calls for help and the other umpire may have had a better look at it and says, okay, well, all right, you're right, I was wrong, go ahead, we'll go with that. But in this one, the home plate umpire is pretty much the only one to make that call. So
2 umpires here. James Kuhn behind the plate. Steve Skidmore on the bases. So another full count, 3-2 now on Spada. And Smith's payoff pitch is in the air to right. Going back is Gomez. And he's got a beat on it and secures it for out number 2.
If you notice that pitch that hit him, they just counted that as a ball because it would have been a ball if it didn't. So
now batting number 9, the right fielder, Elliot Gonzalez.
Elliot Gonzalez rounding out the Broward College batting order. Transfer from Palm Beach Atlantic.
looks like an athlete up there.
His high school career, an example of that. Played 4 years of basketball, also ran cross country at Seacrest Country Day in Naples. Program that reached the state baseball championship game last year. Lost to Miami Burrito in the 2A classification. Gonzalez's teammate J.C. Milan, one of the key players on that Burrito state championship team a season ago. Smith working the corners well thus far. That one caught the inside. One strike away from another 1-2-3 inning.
He is working those corners. Kuhn's giving them to him.
That one a little bit too far inside. 2-2.
A lot of times, even if the ball misses on the outside corner, if the catcher's set up there and he gives a nice frame, you're going to get the call most of the time.
Steve Skidmore rings up Gonzalez at first base as he went around. 4 strikeouts for Josh Smith. Handcuffing this Broward College lineup through the first 3 innings.
That dugout over there for the Titans, trying to rally the troops, get that offense going a little bit here.
A winning record in the classroom is as important for student athletes as it is on the field. Eastern Florida offers more than 100 degrees and programs, including bachelor degrees and associate degrees, providing excellent opportunities in today's fastest growing career fields. An academic advisor also works closely with the student athletes to achieve success. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu and become a Titan today.
Back to the top of the order here. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's the bottom.
Cordy Soto and Vinny Capra set
That's right.
to take their first at-bats against Michael Agus. Jeff Tam talked about the skill set of this Eastern Florida team being very good. Feels like their struggles have just come down to mental focus and being in the moment. He used the phrase, every pitch matters. And because there are so many in baseball, sometimes it's hard to zone in all the time.
That's right. We talked about that earlier, and it's really, especially whenever a pitcher's up there and they're struggling, they're deep 3-ball counts every time. Sometimes you can get a little lackadaisical in the outfield or even on the infield, and really, I think the main thing that really keeps everybody involved is a lot of communication out there. You need your shortstop chirp and say 2 outs, 1 out every time. Catcher very vocal behind the plate. Just keeps everybody focused if they start to drift, and everybody's guilty of that at some point. But it's baseball. It could be very costly.
Catcher Jeff Cordy begins the third. I'll take that laugh and a wry smile I saw from you up here as indication that you've done that once or twice in your career.
Well, I don't want to admit that on air, but maybe. Just leave it at that. But it's that 1/2 a second that you could have maybe got to that ball that you just laid out for and hit off your glove. It's that one step.
Well, for your sake, we'll hope none of your former coaches are watching.
Whoever's listening at home, don't be like me. Pay attention.
Alex's baseball lessons. More coming up. That's fouled off by Cordy down the third base line, 1-2 on the freshman catcher. Cordy, a transfer from USF, was there for the fall semester. Opted to come home, played his high school baseball at Melbourne High, just down the street from this Eastern Florida Melbourne campus. It's grounded to first, took a tough hop for Andreas Lopez. See if that scored a hit or an error. In any case, Cordy is the first base runner of the game for either team.
Michael Agus handles the running game very well, so this is our first opportunity to see how he does with a runner on first base and no outs. Like to see if Coach Tam gets some action here on the base pass, maybe tries a little sack bunt, hit and run. Wakes this defense up. That's probably been sleeping the first two innings.
That was a single for Cordy, his 19th hit of the year. And now it's Angel Soto getting a chance to play because of an injury to Derek DeLear. Shows bunt. Pulls the bat back as that was low.
Definitely trying to get something going here, it looks like. That one catches the corner there.
One out in the third, or excuse me, nobody out in the third. Jeff Cordy with the first hit of the game, first base runner for either side.
Soto gets a hold of one here. He can find a gap.
Bunted through. Oh, a rule that he did not bunt through that one. Our vantage point looked like got the bat through the zone, but pulled it back at the last minute. So 2-1 on Soto. And here's an opportunity to do what Jeff Tam has talked about, execute little parts of the game.
Yeah, he got away with one there, it looked like, from our viewpoint.
Cordy on the move. That was fouled back, and it will bounce off the railing behind home plate. Donnie Salva a little bit upset with himself. Catch that one on the way down, but a very difficult play.
Yeah, I think that actually came over the net, yeah, on the other side of the net. What if you catch it?
A literally impossible play.
Yeah.
There's a generous space behind home plate. A lot of room.
Something that he could have actually, if he made that catch, runner on first base could have actually had a decent tag up there to get to second, pending the position at which Salva had caught that ball. But
3-2 now on Soto. Payoff pitch from Agus is fouled back, and that definitely gets out of play.
yes. Big at bat here for Soto. Runners on first and second with no outs is a lot different than runners on first with no out. Definitely do a lot more with the sacrifice bunt with your 9-hole coming up.
And Vinny Capra, who is on deck, can certainly handle the bat. A throw over. Cordy slides back in safely.
A lot of teams with a 3-2 or a 3-1 count will send the runner at first, counting on the hitter to either take the ball or swing at the strike and make contact. It's a risky play, but sometimes it pays off. Almost sort of like a hit and run deal. Where it bites you is when you hit that line drive and you're halfway down first base path and get doubled off.
After twice throwing over to first, Agus comes home with the 3-2, chopped foul. A good at bat from Soto. Batting in the 8-hole for Eastern Florida. 7 hits on the season, .259 average.
He can turn this bat into a quality one after missing those first couple bunts by drawing a walk here or even a base knock. Look at first.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming, and it's low, ball 4. After retiring the first 6, Agus gives up a single and a walk to begin the 3rd.
Now batting for the Titans, number 17, shortstop Vinny Capra.
Being the shortstop, definitely knows how to play the game here. Look for him to get the bunt down. Execute, like you said, the small things could be the difference in the game, you know.
Langham is on the grass at third base. Lopez looked like he was coming to the plate. He's on the grass as well at first, so Broward certainly expecting bunt here from Capra. Freshman shows it. That one inside and bunted foul.
Yeah, I mentioned before, bunting looks a lot easier than it actually is, especially whenever you're used to swinging as hard as you can at the moving fastball than to just standing there holding the bat out. It's definitely takes practice, and you can tell teams that practice bunting practice the small things.
Capra bunts it to Agus. He'll go to third. Low throw and a nice catch made by Langham to retire the lead runner.
Just a bit too firm there by Capra.
Capra reaches on the fielder's choice.
Now at the plate,
Cordy
number
retired,
15,
so it's
the
Soto
center
on
fielder,
first
Luis
and
Silverio.
Capra on first. As you get another look at the bunt.
Pitcher makes a nice play, moving off the mound. Great play by the third baseman there, Langham, by retreating back to the bag, seeing early that it wasn't going to be down the line.
Luis Silverio takes a pitch low. Back to the top of the order for Eastern Florida. 2 on, 1 out here in the home half of the 3rd.
Batting in the 1-hole, not a ton of opportunities for RBIs, but faced with one here on runner on scoring position on second base.
A lot more power than you would expect to see from a typical leadoff hitter. 12 extra base hits, 7 doubles, 3 home runs for Silverio, transfer from Palm Beach.
He's got some wheels too, a couple triples, 14 bags.
Agus throws to Alvin Swoop, who was well behind the second base bag.
Little miscommunication there.
Salvo look in the dugout to make sure he's on the same page with the coaching staff in this at bat. That one chopped to the left side. It'll get through for a base hit. Soto being sent home. He will score easily. Advancing to third base is Capra. And on the throw down to second goes Silverio. An RBI single for the center fielder, and it's 1-0 Eastern Florida.
That's excellent base running right there. That textbook going first to third, and Silverio moving up to second on the throw. That's just how you do it right there. It's being locked in throughout the entire play.
13th RBI of the year for Silverio. The leadoff hitter takes advantage of a run-scoring chance. And it's now second and third. 1 out for Nick Capra.
This is probably the best situation to be up in. No double play to hit into. Just make contact, solid contact somewhere, and you're getting a run.
Langham is even with Capra at third base. That one sends the Broward dugout scrambling.
Inside pitch there that Nick couldn't quite get to. Probably would have been a ball, but I like it being aggressive with runners in scoring position. Less than 2 outs.
A Capra on third, a Capra at the plate. James Kuhn says that Nick went around, so it's quickly 0-2.
I'd like for him to ask for help on that one. That was a close one, but
Capra going to try and shorten up and put it in play with 2 strikes.
that's exactly right. Choke up on the bat a little bit, widen your stance, shorten your swing. Be amazed how much more often you find the barrel doing that.
Hits it into right field. Elliot Gonzalez won't get there. That's going to score 2. Capra motoring around second. He'll make it to third, standing up. First extra base hit in 12 games for Nick Capra. A 2-run triple.
Clutch hit right there by Nick Capra. Scoring 2 and then putting himself in beautiful position for Lima. Runner on third base with 1 out. Same approach here, aggressive early. Find a pitch you can drive.
What an approach with 2 strikes from Nick Capra.
Absolutely.
His first extra base hit since March 11th.
Bet that's a little weight off his shoulders there.
Three hits in the inning for Eastern Florida. Capra on third and still just 1 out for Alessandro Lima.
Big swing there. Not something that you really see too much with a runner on third with 1 out, but I'm sure he's got his approach.
Lima trying to work out of a funk. Second team All-Southern Conference last year. But the average below 200 right now. If he can put it in play with 2 strikes.
Agus mixes pitches very well, tries to keep these guys off balance. Can't do too much when you're behind in the count.
1-2 is hit into center field. J.C. Milan racing. That gets all the way to the fence. Hit parade for Eastern Florida here in the third. Trying to get to third base. Bobbled throw. And he's in there. Back-to-back triples. First Capra and now Lima.
You can feel the momentum shift. They are finding some barrels.
Now to play, number
Great job of
34,
keeping his hands inside the baseball there.
Freddie Ramos.
Noticed how we're actually sitting right behind home plate. That ball did not tail or hook either way. Perfect backspin on that baseball. Carried right to the right center gap.
Broward calls for time. Michael Agus retired the first 6 hitters he faced. He's given up 3 consecutive hits here in the third.
It's almost contagious, man. Once everybody gets a hit, it's a hit parade, and now Ramos also with the same situation, runner on third with less than 2 outs. Go up there swinging the bat aggressively.
That was a brief conversation out on the mound for Agus. 5 of the 6 hitters have reached here in the third for the Titans. In this critical conference series, they have staked Josh Smith to a 4-0 lead. Going to tack on at least 1. Milan all the way back near the track. He'll make the catch. Lima's going to tag and score. Sacrifice fly for Ramos. It's now 5-0.
Ball really is flying today. That went over to the warning track there.
Christian Diaz.
Crowd getting into it a little bit as well.
Christian Diaz is the 8th hitter of the inning for Eastern Florida. Jammed on the infield, and a nice play made by Agus. Over the shoulder catch made by the pitcher. Throws the ball up in frustration as he walks back to the dugout. Fantastic inning for the homestanding Titans. 5 runs and 4 hits for Eastern Florida in the bottom half of the third.
Extra base hits. Definitely giving Josh Smith a little breather in between innings there. See if he comes out with a little more velocity on that fastball.
An extended break for Smith. 2 singles, 2 triples in the bottom half of the third. Agus gave up a walk and a sacrifice fly as well. How about the bottom of the order getting things started for Eastern Florida? Single by Cordy and a walk by Soto, the 7 and 8 hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge momentum booster for everybody. When everybody sees, you know, maybe the weaker or just the guys that aren't as consistent hitters up there swinging the bat aggressively, driving the baseball, that makes everybody want to run to the plate to fight at the bat rack.
Smith will now start second time through this Broward College order. What have you seen through the first 3 that's allowed him to be so successful?
Honestly, I like in his like we talked to Coach Dam, says he's got 3 pitches he can throw for a strike, and we've seen it. He's thrown quite a few balls, but despite getting behind in the account, feels like it doesn't phase him. Just throws back in there, attacks him with another fastball, painting the corners pretty well, and really hasn't been too much action out there for the
number 21, Victor.
for the Titans defense.
Smith lost his first 3 decisions of the season before coming back to get wins against Indian River and Palm Beach State, which right now is at the top of the Southern Conference standings.
Starting to figure out his release point, dialed in. If anybody could do it, though, Victor can do it. He needs to try to ignite something here for his ball club, get something going.
Way in front of that off-speed pitch. How important is it for Smith to come out here and not allow Broward to produce a run after a team staked him to 5-0 lead?
Yeah, throwing up a goose egg here is huge. Even if they were to put up 2, it's you're up 3, but you want to keep that momentum in your dugout as much as you can, and you know your offense has got your back today, and defense hasn't let him down. He's up there. He's throwing 100% right now.
Chopped to short. Capra takes it on a tough hop and able to get the speedy Victor.
That beautiful play there. by Vinny Capra. Takes the tough hop, like you said, and has a nice arm on him.
Number 3, Swoop.
He's just out front of that pitch. Chops it over the shortstop. Got some wheels on him. Made it close at first. Not going to make it easy on him.
Victor, 33 stolen bases the last 2 years. Not easy to throw him out when he puts the ball in play. Alvin Swoop gives Capra another chance.
Here we go.
And a nice stretch at first base from Alessandro Lima.
Yeah, that's a beautiful play there at first base. Tell you what, for the 10 errors the past 2 games, they look pretty strong out there in defense.
All 3 balls hit to Vinny Capra at short. High throw, Lima goes up for it and able to apply the tag. Couple of strong plays at first base from Alessandro Lima, and another 1-2-3 inning for Josh Smith.
I almost had to bite my tongue there. Talking about the defense, throws it high, but Lima picks him up there. Beautiful play.
Lima laughs at the broadcaster's curse that you tried to put on him right there.
I know. It happens.
Eastern Florida trying to get back above 500 in the Southern Conference standings. And still a lot can happen here. 4 teams that are pretty tightly packed. 3 games from 1st to 4th, Palm Beach State down to Eastern Florida. And with 10 conference games remaining, anything can happen if any of those 4 teams get hot down the stretch.
Absolutely. Definitely look for Eastern Florida. If they can sweep this little 2-game set here, potentially jump over Miami-Dade, getting them in that play-in game with 8 more games.
10 more conference
after
games.
after these 2.
And their next 4, if you include this one, are against Broward College. See the game tomorrow, and then they'll have a home and home April 10th and 11th.
Right now they're probably taking notes on these guys, saying we got them 2 more times after this, 3 more, including tomorrow.
Brandon Gomez, the only batter in the lineup that did not step to the plate in the 3rd. And the Titans sent 8 with 4 hits and 5 runs. That one chopped foul. Gomez committed to Mount Olive Powerhouse Division II program, which is pursuing several other guys on this Eastern Florida roster. If history's any indication, you can count on Gomez getting a hit. He's got one in all 3 games against the Seahawks this season.
Now you're trying to get the broadcaster's curse, aren't you? Like Salva tried to get a little frame action there, gave up on it as it about foot outside.
2-2 on Gomez. Up and in, full count. Agus having to work a lot harder against this Eastern Florida lineup than he did the first 2 innings.
Yeah, maybe seeing some fatigue here. Threw quite a few pitches last inning.
3-2 is called, strike 3. 5th strikeout for Agus.
Just attacking that zone. Firm fastball. Agus hanging around with the 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball, working off his off speed.
Jeff Cordy started the run for Eastern Florida in the bottom of the 3rd with a leadoff single. One of 2 players on this roster with more walks than strikeouts. Capra is the other. Both guys in the bottom of the lineup tonight. Cordy at 7, Capra rounding out the order at number 9.
Makes for a good on-base percentage. Down early here, 0-2. Don't want to give them a chance to get the momentum back on their side. That's
Good
just
0-2 pitch off the plate.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. He understands where Coon's strike zone is. Tried to stretch it a little bit too far, and good pitch and a good take and a good call for ball 1.
Agus great in the classroom as well, likely to be an academic All-American, according to Coach Ben Bezier. Cordy fell behind, 0-2. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joseph Collazo at second collects that and fires on to Lopez. 2 down.
Way out in front of that one, Cordy was. Not too happy. He looked like an off-speed pitch away and had already started his swing. He would have loved to probably foul that one off, get another shot, but got just enough of it, put it in play, and he'll get him next at bat.
Angel Soto walked in his first plate appearance in the 3rd.
It ended up being a pretty big walk, actually. First and second with no outs.
Set the table for what was a big inning. 5 runs for Eastern Florida in the bottom half of the 3rd. That's the only scoring we've seen so far in the game.
Agus looking like he's trying to catch a stride here a little bit again. One thing you got to love about these hitters is they are aggressive. When they swing and miss, it's a full swing. No check swings. They all or nothing.
One and 2 on Soto. I can't remember seeing a pitcher. Agus has the hat come off on virtually every single pitch.
It's got to be frustrating. Maybe he just got a haircut.
That one lined over the glove of Langham at third base and into left field. Soto's been on base in both of his plate appearances. 2-out single.
Yeah, that was a frozen rope right there. 2 strikes. That is definitely his second quality at bat of the game. 2 for 2 on quality at bats.
Not a player who we expected to see in the lineup after our conversation with Jeff Tam yesterday, but taking advantage of his chance.
That's what it is. Somebody goes down with an injury. There's nothing but opportunity.
Vinny Capper reached on a fielder's choice. Freshman shortstop with an average right around 300. Talked about the 3 Capra brothers from Melbourne Central Catholic. Vinny won a state championship at his junior season at MCC.
He's made a difference in this game at short thus far. Shortstop, let's see if he can get his back going here.
Has success against Agus. He was 2 for 3 against the Broward starter in the first game of the season. Didn't play in the last meeting on March 14th.
Could have potentially got hit there. I thought it might have nicked him, but he stays in the box.
The ball and 2 strikes. Oh, that took a real tough hop. Went out over the shoulder of Langham. Looked like he was well positioned. Right on the edge of the grass and the clay.
Yeah, it looked like that ball just ramped off the lip of the grass, and you can almost just thank his lucky stars he's still got his teeth.
Back-to-back 2-out singles. Lineup turns over to Luis Silverio. RBI single started the scoring in the bottom half of the third. And he steps to the plate with 2 runners on.
Great pitch there, a little slider on the outside corner. Good take. You don't want to swing at that for a first pitch strike. Get something better to hit, hopefully later on in the at-bat.
I guess distracted by Soto out there at second base. Vinny Capper on first, Soto on second. And a long look for Agus out there at the second base bag. Silverio calls for time.
It's a good call by Silverio. Definitely wants to make sure he's in control up there. He can control the pace. If he's standing up there too long, go ahead and call time. Step out.
No balls and 2 strikes now on Silverio. 1 for 2 with an RBI. He's been swinging the bat well as of late. 9 of 16 in his last 4 games coming into this evening's contest.
He did check his swing there. Losing his hat is Agus once again. What do you think of the Evo Shield shin guard? Is that something you would rock? A little flare piece there?
I mean, if I knew more about it, this fouled right at the plate.
Right off the shin.
Right on cue there. Nice promo you just dropped there.
There you go.
Is there a free one of those on its way to the Friedrich household now?
I hope so. I mean,
use one of those in your
I'll see if I can get you one.
in your co-ed softball games.
Yes, that does happen quite a bit. I swing too hard and I don't ever really square it up. So.
1-2 on Silverio. Eastern Florida trying to add to a 5-0 lead. All 5 runs coming in the third. Runner breaks as Silverio slashes that one foul. Jeff Tam opting to put the runners in motion with 2 down.
Pitch was looking like it was in the strike zone. He had to protect his at-bat, but it did look like both runners had a good jump on that.
An extended at-bat here from Silverio. Got to 2 strikes and has battled ever since.
Yeah, that pitch count's got to be running up there for Agus. Bunch of deep counts in that long 3rd inning. This 4th inning turning into a longer inning as well.
There was some optimism from Ben Bezier, the Broward coach, coming into this series. Said he had his entire pitching staff lined up, ready to roll. Not always the case when you have a critical conference series.
It's definitely a positive to have on your side if available.
1-2 pitch. To third. Nice pickup by Langham as that skipped into his glove. A pair of 2-out singles for Eastern Florida. Nothing comes of it as Silverio grounds it to third. 4 complete here at Bruce Bochy Field, and it is 5-0 Titans.
Langham playing a solid 3rd base today, quietly, making quite a few plays. But Josh Smith gets to take the mound again after another rest. Something that Agus really hasn't had the luxury of having thus far.
The athletic programs at Eastern Florida State College are just part of the excitement. The college is a regional leader in education, providing students with excellent job opportunities in the global economy. a great example, the $75 million expansion of the Melbourne campus that's now underway with 6 new buildings to house academic programs in health science, computer technology, and business. When completed, the campus will be a vital center of higher education and workforce development well into the 21st century for East Central Florida. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu and become a Titan today. 12 consecutive batters retired by Josh Smith. He will face the heart of the Seahawks order, 4, 5, 6, starting with J.C. Milan.
Now leading off, number 14, J.C. Milan.
Smith earlier this year threw 2/3 of an inning against this Broward College team, gave up 3 hits, 3 walks, and 3 runs in a 1-run defeat, 7-6.
Much different showing today to start.
Milan 6 for 11 in the 3 previous games against Eastern Florida this season. Freshman who has steadily improved and matured as the season has gone along.
Yeah, to see a freshman hitting .317 in the 4-hole.
Milan lifts it into left. Christian Diaz a couple of steps to his left.
1 down.
Now at the plate, number 7, Langham.
Definitely something to be said about Josh Smith not even really giving them that defense the opportunity to make any terrible plays. They've all been pretty routine, except for a couple of those at short seem to hit pretty hard, but all the fly balls have been skied.
That last half inning has provided a couple situations that have haunted Eastern Florida throughout the season. He had a short hop. Capra made a great play at short to get Fichter to begin the inning. And then Lima at first base with a great stretch, and then going up to handle a high throw and tagging out Lopez to end the inning.
Yeah, they're flirting with it, but at the end of the day, you're making the plays.
Smith ahead 0-2 on Langham.
Little protective swing there. Wasn't sure if ball or strike, just kind of threw the barrel out of there. Lived to see another pitch.
One and two on the third baseman. All academic team in the conference a year ago. How about his high school GPA? 5.12 at Barron Collier in Naples. Right on par with about what you had?
That sounds like the GPA of 2 people combined. I didn't even understand that. Impressive.
Langham's high school team, 3 consecutive district titles in Southwest Florida. And has continued his good play with Broward College. Hit that one on a line. Another impressive play at short from Capra.
Yeah, Vinny holding down shortstop today. May be concreting himself in that position.
We expected that to be Derek DeLear.
That's right.
Orangewood Christian product, but again, DeLear got hurt, not available to be in the lineup tonight.
Taking advantage of his opportunity. Ball's hit firmly right on the barrel. Nice quick hop, picks it up, and boom, right on the chest of the first baseman, Lima.
It'd be a good feeling when you get the ball into the glove and you got a couple of steps before you got to make that throw to first, right?
You got some time, yeah. that first throw, that one short hop that he had on the run, he had to get rid of that one quick. But, yeah, that was a speedy Fichter. The leadoff hitter was running down first. That one was hit on a rope, so he had time to gather his feet, let the first baseman reach the bag, and threw a strike.
Now the switch hitting catcher, Yordani Salva. Smith has consistently pumped in first pitch strikes.
strikes are everything in baseball. You can't give up freebies. It's too hard of a sport to not make them earn it.
Salva, a guy you like to work ahead of. 39 hits, leads the team with 25 RBIs. Three pitches and 3 strikes. 5th strikeout for Josh Smith. He continues to mow down the Broward College hitters.
Yeah, Salva didn't seem too thrilled with that call. It might be an awkward half inning as Salva's going to be out there catching with James Kuhn, home plate umpire, right behind him, making the same calls on the Titans offense. Look for Agus here to get going again. Keep talking about momentum, and it's hard. It's got to be hard for a starting pitcher. He's out there having one bad inning and still nothing to show from his offense, and can't do anything but just keep chucking along.
A key for this Eastern Florida staff, which has had several pitchers go down with injuries. Jeff Tam concerned about Alec Lamoureux, who has served as the closer. Hurt his arm on Tuesday. But at the rate that Josh Smith is pitching in this game, no relievers will be necessary.
I believe Josh has 1 complete game this season. You and I have had a chance doing some high school games, and it's very common to see a complete game thrown at pitchers, but not. That's only 7 innings. You know, these 9-inning games. That's quite a few more pitches that they're out there tossing the rock for.
Saw one last night here on the Space Coast with Rockledge junior Drew Parrish.
That's right.
Florida State commit. A dominant outing as the Raiders knocked off Merritt Island. Those two an example of just how far baseball has come in Brevard County. 2 of the elite teams, not just in Central Florida, but in the entire state.
Yeah, I believe combined there was like 8 or 9 guys committed to major D1 schools.
Nick Capra flies out to center to begin the home half of the 5th. Now Alessandro Lima. Now this Eastern Florida team has a local flavor. 8 players from Brevard County on the roster, and 13 total who played their high school baseball in Central Florida.
Hey, that makes for family in the stands. Not have to travel too far. Come on over, catch a couple ball games. Hopefully win a couple of them.
And Jeff Tam told us before the game he was there watching Rockledge and Merritt Island last night. His goal is to not allow any player from Brevard County to leave the area. Not exactly realistic when you consider the talent level.
Right.
But even if you don't get the first few guys and they go on to high major D1 programs as a result of guys like Tam integrating themselves into the travel ball circuit here in Brevard County, the level of talent continues to rise. Ball gets away from Salva. Lima trying to motor down the line, and he will beat out the throw and advance down to second base. The breaks that have been going against Eastern Florida have turned around here tonight. A swinging 3rd strike, and Lima ends up on second base.
I was not very impressed there by Salva. Kind of just gingerly just trotted along after that ball, and he knows he has a strong arm. We've seen that, but I mean, at some point you got to have a little sense of urgency to get that ball over to first. Your pitcher tried hard for that strikeout, and now it's almost like a double.
Lima by no means the fastest player on this roster, but alertly started to move down toward first base, putting some pressure on Salva, and now he's in scoring position with 1 down.
Watch this here, kind of. Oh, that's the previous strikeout there. Nice frame job there, but Didn't see him. It's about the same speed he was chasing after that ball as him walking off right there. He didn't really have no sense of urgency on that one.
Well, now here's Freddie Ramos. Had a 7-game hit streak come to an end in a loss to Miami-Dade last week. Looking to restart that. Strikeout and a sacrifice fly so far tonight. Well, each of the players for Eastern Florida have bios on their website. One of the questions I found particularly interesting was they asked about their hidden talent. For Ramos, it was a dog whisperer.
Really? Well, I don't know how you get confirmation of that.
Really an opinion type.
Yeah, I guess.
Type thing.
I would say.
Can't exactly be certified. Ramos with plans to attend medical school after his baseball career ends.
Animal.
2-1 pitch misses.
Does he want to be a veterinarian?
Away.
I don't get it.
That was not clear. A reliever loosening for Broward College as Agus works here in the bottom of the 5th. And a full count now to Ramos.
Agus getting a little gift there. That one looked a little up and away, but Coons has established that strike zone, and he's stuck by it. Give him credit for that.
It's Ryan Guerra, the Miami commit, who is loosening in the pen. Pitch from Agus, misses up. And on a full count, he walks Ramos. So it's gone from what should have been 2 out, bases empty after the strikeout to Lima. Ball gets away from Salva. So Lima, as a result, ends up on second. Ramos is now walked, so 2 runners on base with 1 down here in the 5th.
Diaz coming from school in Tampa.
He played his high school baseball at Steinbrenner in Tampa. You
Okay.
figure appropriate for a baseball guy to come from that school, which is named after the longtime New York Yankees owner.
That's right. It's the only team they have is baseball over there. Just kidding.
A throw to second base and caught off the bag is Lima. He'll be tagged out. A base running mistake by Eastern Florida. Collazo able to tag out Lima, and so it's now just a runner on first and 2 down.
Coach Jeff Tam did not take his hands off his knees that whole play. Getting frustration. Seems to be the only hiccup thus far we've seen go against him. But there's still a lot of baseball to be played.
1-1 on Christian Diaz. Jeff Tam told us Diaz hasn't been as selective at the plate this season. Trying to free up his mind a little bit. Guy who was so successful a year ago. Maybe putting a little bit too much pressure on himself to perform to that level this year.
You see that from a few guys. They call it a sophomore slump. Sometimes that happens where you have a great freshman year. You're out there. Nobody knows your strengths and weaknesses. No pitchers, I'm sorry. Your pitchers, your opponents. So they just, feed you some fastballs. You rip a couple doubles and like, okay, we got to start doing something different for this guy and start giving you a little more off-speed stuff. It's a little tougher to handle and definitely makes a difference, but I'm sure he'll pick it up here. Diaz, he's still got a solid average of 293 and 16 walks, 25 Ks. It's not the best ratio, but could be worse.
2-2 from Agus. That is foul, just wide of the third base bag.
Would have been a tough play, tough throw to make there, but Langham's had quite a day. I don't doubt he would have made that.
A 5-0 lead for Eastern Florida in this critical Southern Conference 2-game series. Titans try to work their way up the standings, right now in 4th place. Broward sitting in 2nd, a half game behind Palm Beach State.
Nothing doing at first. I have a sense that was more of a let's give our relief pitcher a little more time to warm up, potentially pick off play.
It's the Miami commit Ryan Guerra loosening in the Broward pen. Oh, fantastic off-speed pitch to get Diaz. 5 complete innings here at Bruce Bochy Field. Great start for Eastern Florida State College. Titans in front 5-0 after 5 complete innings.
Watch your Titans take on the Indian River State Pioneers, live Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m. on WEFS.
For new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, computer information technologies, and healthcare. Eastern Florida. Apply today.
Top of the 6th inning here at Eastern Florida State College. Titans right now in command, a 5-0 lead on their conference foe, Broward College. And much of their success, at least so far defensively, has to do with the effort of pitcher Josh Smith.
Yeah, they've been pretty effortlessly retiring the Seahawks lineup, and
Leading off for the Seahawks, number 6,
obviously
Palazzo.
Smith throwing a lot of strikes, staying in the zone, but his defense, like you said, staying in every single pitch, making the tough plays, making the routine plays, and avoiding those hiccups that Coach Tam had preached upon.
Smith has set down 15 in a row as we start the 6th inning. 7, 8, 9 due up for Broward College. It starts with Joseph Colazzo. .333 with 34 hits coming into the game tonight. And hit number 34 ends what has been a fantastic start. Smith perfect through the first 5 innings for Eastern Florida. Finally surrenders a hit to lead off the 6th.
All right, everybody can exhale now. No hitter has been broken up.
Perfect game.
Perfect game, sorry. Excuse me.
Ever a part of a perfect game during your career?
Not at the collegiate level. High school, I've seen it a couple times, but it's very rare. It's very rare.
Anxious moments? How do you handle yourself as a player when you're in those situations?
Well, you just got to keep it yourself. You can't say anything to anybody, because if, God forbid, if it gets ruined after you say something, it's all your fault. So you just kind of, okay. Just go about making the plays, and obviously defense, you've seen it in the bigs where people make these miraculous plays just trying to keep it intact, and they should be making those plays every time, but a little extra pressure.
John Spada fouls that pitch down the third base line. 0-2 on the DH. set a school record for batting average in a season, 471 during his time at American Heritage of Delray. Spada, a native of Boca Raton. 0-2 from Smith. Just off the plate, 1-2.
Spada got a good swing. You got to keep that front shoulder down just a hair longer. Kind of trying to lift the ball a little bit, it looks like, his first couple at bats.
In the hole between first and second, back-to-back hits for Broward College. Seeing eye single from Spada. First and second with nobody out.
Now they're putting the ball in play now. Trying to switch up their approach here. Instead of swinging for doubles every time, just put the ball in play. See if you can find a hole, and before you know it, first and second, no outs. You got something brewing here.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Broward College. Max Balter will take the place of Elliot Gonzalez.
Pinch hitting for Broward, number 10, Max Balter.
Balter hitting at .242, 23 hits, and 12 RBIs. He's got the unfortunate distinction of leading the team in strikeouts. Lays down a sacrifice bunt. Smith looked at third, and by the time he went to first, it was not in time to get Balter motoring down the line.
Yeah, it's good base running by Collazo. He saw he's got the bunt down, so he got a good jump from second base, which obviously Smith can't see because the runner's behind him. He needs to really hear his communication from his third baseman saying 1-1-1, knowing that Collazo, the runner now at third base, got a great jump from second.
Now Josh Smith going to try and limit the damage. Eastern Florida starter, perfect through 5 innings. 3 consecutive singles from the bottom of the order here to begin the 6th. The lineup turns over to Tyler Fichter. "14 RBIs this season for Fichter. Similar situation to Silverio. He came up with 2 runners in scoring position for Eastern Florida back in the 3rd. Now the leadoff hitter for Broward has the bases loaded and a rare chance to produce some runs.
See if Smith is getting a little fatigue here and get back in the strike zone.
Ball bounces past the catcher, Jeff Cordy. Everybody moves up a base. That means Collazo comes home to score.
Not much Corte can do with that one. That one kind of just popped over his shoulder. He went down to block it. Sometimes you just get those bad hops.
Soto comes over to the mound. Taps his glove for Smith. Trying to provide some encouragement.
It's a mature play. Realizing his pitcher maybe need a breather here. Give him a second. Gather his thoughts.
It's now 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. A run is in here in the 6th as Smith delivers a called strike.
Open base here.
3-1 on Fichter. We'd like to make him swing the bat here.
Yeah. Get maybe a lazy fly ball in the infield to really have a productive out.
It's popped into shallow left field. Diaz right there to make the catch. From your lips to Josh Smith's ears, produces a shallow fly ball and an important first out here in the 6th.
That's what you wish for right there. Anything a little deeper, give him a chance to tag up, or even a ground ball up the middle. But still a good situation here for number 3. Alvin Swoop.
Corners up defensively for Eastern Florida. As the sun is set here on the Space Coast, just a gorgeous sky. Beautiful sunset here tonight in Brevard County. Not a cloud in the sky the last several hours this afternoon. Really couldn't have asked for a better day to play baseball.
Absolutely not. Baseball's a weather sport. Can't play it in the rain, so you appreciate these days.
Smith quickly ahead of Swoop, 0-2. Allowed 3 consecutive singles to begin the 6th inning. Wild pitch allowed Broward College to score its first run, and now runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Just looking at Swoop's stance, he looks like such a difficult out.
A terrific block by Cordy.
Some serious trust there from Josh Smith to his catcher, Cordy, being able to throw that curveball in the dirt, trusting that his catcher's going to block it, hoping that it doesn't hit the ground and pop over his shoulder like it did earlier this inning.
A ball and 2 strikes on the number 2 hitter for Broward College. Big cut from Swoop. He strikes out for the 2nd time.
Very big out there. Simple single could have had this game 3-5. Gets that big strikeout. Still in the same situation, but with 2 outs.
Jeff Tam going to come out and have a few words with Josh Smith. Maybe remind him of the approach here against Andreas Lopez. I asked Tam yesterday if there was anyone in the lineup that would get special attention. In his pregame scouting report, he identified Victor and Lopez. Lopez, a guy who has 6 RBIs in the 3 games against Eastern Florida this season.
Yeah, you almost don't want to compliment the other team saying who's their best guys, but you got to be aware of the guys that can hurt you. Makes for a good coach.
Lopez certainly one of those guys. Along with Swoop, missed the early part of the season. Suffered a broken arm in the fall. Native of Aguas Buenas, Puerto Rico. This would be a big out for Josh Smith. Broward loaded the bases with no one out here in the 6th. 1 run is in. 2 more in scoring position for Lopez.
And it doesn't get much easier after Lopez. Behind him, Milan, center fielder.
Pops out of the glove of Cordy. A ball and a strike.
You can almost say, oh, he's got an open bag. He can almost pitch around him, but, well, pitch around him, you go to the 4-hole. You got to deal with him, so.
Smith trying to preserve what has been a superb outing thus far.
Yes, it has. Make a couple good pitches here.
That's back up the middle, a base hit. 2-out single from Lopez is going to score a pair of runs. Broward College right back in the game. It's 5-3.
Ball just kind of hung out there, got it right off the end of the bat, found a hole. That's what we talk about. Put the ball in play, try to find a hole, and that's what they've done this inning.
Lopez now with 8 RBIs in 4 games against Eastern Florida this season. He has been a tough out with runners in scoring position. The tying run now at the plate in the person of J.C. Milan.
Lopez 3 for 3 on bags, potential threat, but something to keep your eye on throughout the at-bat.
A ball and a strike on Milan. Josh Smith perfect through the first 5 innings in this game. He's given up 4 hits here in the 6th. 3 runs are in for Broward. Milan down the first base line, a fair ball. That gets all the way down into the corner. Lopez will be held at third. Milan with a 2-out double, a shot down the first baseline. And the tying run is in scoring position.
That's a great job by Gomez to get that ball in. Could have easily been a run there.
Number 7, Langan.
As you see here, low and away, goes with it. Fair ball right down the line, and Gomez hustles over. Doesn't even take a step, reaches for the ball, tosses it. Third base coach forced to put up the stop sign.
Jeff Tam out to the mound for the 2nd time this half inning, and he's going to make a switch. I bet when the inning started, Tam didn't envision this. He takes the ball from Josh Smith, who was literally perfect for 5 innings, but struggles here in the 6th, fails to make it out of the inning, and he'll head to the dugout. Still in line to be the winner if his bullpen can pick him up here and get the final out in the 6th.
They can't complain with that outing. Threw a lot of strikes, but he also threw a lot of pitches, so yeah, you can start to see the fatigue a little bit there. His changeup wasn't dropping as much as it was early. Curveball wasn't quite as sharp, and those spots he was hitting earlier on the outside corner were just missing a little bit wider than they normally were at the beginning.
Tam calls on Noah Dials out of the bullpen. Dials, a 2-0 record. He's thrown 21 innings, an ERA right at 3. 13 runs allowed, only 7 of them earned. And he's given up 13 hits.
Little submarine guy here, gives him a different look. Going to the plate with a different approach. This time completely than the approach from Josh Smith. A lot of times with submarine pitchers like this, coaches or hitting coaches almost rather their hitters get up in the box because that fastball almost rises. So you get up in the box, you can see if it starts at your knees, it's going to drop or it's going to come to the strike zone. And if it starts in the strike zone, it's usually going to rise out of the zone. So
Dials on to try and preserve the lead for Eastern Florida State College. Broward didn't have a hit here until the 6th. They've got 5 in the inning. 4 singles and a double from J.C. Milan. And runners at 2nd and 3rd. Milan represents the tying run with 2 outs in the 6th.
put in a big spot here. Although these runs aren't going on his stat sheet, he's got to look out for his boy Josh Smith. A couple ducks on the pond out there.
It looked like Smith was in line to get out of trouble. Got the leadoff hitter Fichter to fly out to left, struck out Swoop, but then a 2 RBI single from Andres Lopez and a double from J.C. Milan. So now he's got to deal with Austin Langham. Third baseman and captain of this Broward College squad.
Righty-righty matchup. These submarine pitchers are tough to hit for righties most of the time.
And then an adjustment. We talked about the hitters. What about Cordy?
Yeah, that also. Definitely got to pick up a new release point. About, what, 5-foot difference from those release points?
Dials, freshman from Tampa. has missed with his first 2 pitches. 2 balls, no strikes on Austin Langham. Yordani Salva would be next. Langham is the 8th hitter of the inning for Broward.
2 big innings by both teams respectively.
Whole lot of zeros and a couple of crooked numbers.
That's right.
Ooh, lined right back in and out of the glove. Dials throws to first to retire the side. A memorable way for that inning to end. A hard line drive right back at Noah Dials. Lost his glove. It goes to the right of the mound. Still the awareness to find the baseball, pick it up, and throw out Austin Langham.
Self-defense. Self-defense out there. Wow.
It will go as a 1-3 putout in the scorebook, but a lot more to the story. So the half inning ends for Broward College. 3 runs on 5 hits, and 2 men are left.
If he doesn't get his glove up there, it's a tie ball game. Ag is staying in the ball game after throwing up a couple hoops.
We'll give you another look at the way the top half of the 6th inning ended.
Way ahead in the count the hitter was. Sitting fastball. Jeez, just the glove almost hit his head with the ball in it. That ball was rough. Some quick reaction time there.
We told you earlier in the broadcast that Ben Bezier said that Austin Langham was hitting a loud 280 because he's hit so many line drives right at people. No better example than what we just saw.
That's absolutely correct.
6, 7, 8 due up for Eastern Florida here in the home half of the 6th. That starts with Brandon Gomez.
Titans, number 1, Brandon Gomez.
We have a different ball game on our hands now.
From 5-0 to 5-3.
See if Eastern Florida can get them bats going again here.
All the scoring for the Titans came in the 3rd inning. 5 runs on 4 hits. Only 2 hits in the other 4 innings against Michael Agus. Well, the final line on Smith, he goes 5 2/3 innings, gives up 3 runs. All of them are earned. Struck out 6, didn't walk anybody as Gomez throws the bat about 120 feet down the 3rd baseline.
Some strange things have been happening here lately.
Luis Silverio got out of the dugout, and Gomez is going to take the opportunity to rub that up a little bit more.
And get a little tar rag on that bad boy. One and 2. It was a long strike.
Gomez 5 home runs this season. Certainly with some power at the bottom of the lineup. Took a long time to get a new bat, didn't use it. Called strike 3.
Now batting, number 11, the catcher, Jeff Cordy.
8 Ks for Michael Agus, working around an awful 3rd inning in which he allowed 8 batters to come to the plate. Other than that, he has been fantastic.
Absolutely. Give him some credit for that. He came back after that long inning, got 2 hoops and get the first out in the bottom of the 6th here.
Jeff Cordy chops it to second base. Joseph Colazzo, nearly behind the bag, makes the play.
Agus looking like he's
Now batting, number 10, 3rd baseman, Angel Soto.
picking up. Usually it's weird with these started pitches. Sometimes they start off slower and end up getting stronger by the end of the games. I've never really understood that, but I guess if your arm's conditioned to make that movement every day. It's just second nature.
Now it's Angel Soto. He's reached base in both of his plate appearances. That one fouled back. You get another look at the ground out by Cordy.
He just got off the end of the bat. Looked like Agus tried to make a stab at it. No problem. 4-3, retired. Soto making the most of his opportunities today. Wasn't initially in the lineup due to an injury. He's got a line drive single and a walk.
That one skips in, a ball and a strike. Sometimes there's a pause in the action. Yordani Salva has an armband, looks into the Broward dugout to get the call from the coaches, and then relays that to Michael Agus.
Yeah, we did that at UCF also. It's an easy way for coaches to call pitches, mix them up, and really just communicate. And sometimes, you know, after they gain some trust, they'll let the catchers call a couple innings, you know, let them do their own thing. But situations like this where it's now a tight ball game, coach wants to manage that as well.
That misses up. 3-1 now on Soto.
It's funny, you give me or you that wristband, and as soon as that coach gives that number, we'd be searching for like 6 minutes to try to find the number, but they do it so often and so repetitively. They go 628 beep, boom, right there, boom, sign. Remember, our catchers would practice that at the beginning of the seasons. They'd be like, boom, boom, all right, get the number, get the sign, put it down, go.
Vinny Capper, the number 9 hitter, will step to the plate after a 2-out walk. You may not be willing to divulge trade secrets here, but I'm okay. You know, I've got the wristband on up here in the booth.
Okay.
And when our producer Darren needs to communicate something, he's just gotta give me a number on the wristband.
How come I didn't get a wristband, man?
Soto on first after a 2-out walk. Third time tonight he's been on base. Capra lifts a fly ball into shallow center. That got lost in the lights for J.C. Milan. Fires it back in. Soto's on his way to the plate. Might be the oddest RBI of the year for Vinny Capra. The odd series of events continues here as Eastern Florida adds an insurance run at 6-3.
Yep, they call that the old twilight ball, where it's
number 15, the center fielder,
the ball almost just disappears into the sky, and he almost tried to play it off that he was under it, but really, with 2 outs, the runner has no choice but to keep running. So really had no chance, no idea where that was going.
Landed about 30 feet behind him. That's going to be all for Michael Agus. He's got to be frustrated as he leaves the game. What looked to be a harmless fly ball that would have ended the home half of the 6th inning results in an RBI double. Agus is done after 5 2/3.
He looks pretty frustrated, and I can't blame him for that.
It's Raymond Katina that comes on from the Broward bullpen.
Now pitching, number 23, Raymond Katina.
Numbers on Katina. He's gone 21 1/3 innings this year. ERA of 2.53. $12 runs, only 6 of them are earned. Struck out 28 and walked 14. And 28 strikeouts in 21 1/3. Ben Bezier hoping the lefty can end the home half of the 6th without any further damage.
Looks like a guy with 14 walks and 21 innings. Looks like he'll throw it up there pretty firmly. Either get his strikeout or his walk, or walk the batter. So See if he's on tonight. See if he can find the zone and be effective from the left side.
Agus leaves the game. He's responsible for the runner on second base. So that's statistically, not literally responsible for that runner.
Right.
After Broward College got 3 in the top half of the inning, Eastern Florida able to get 1 of those back. And Capra in scoring position with 2 down for Luis Silverio, who will see for the first time in the game Raymond Katina, redshirt freshman from Wellington, Florida, Palm Beach County. Played his high school baseball at Park Vista.
It's looking like Salva's having a little trouble receiving the pitch from Katina. See if that trend continues.
Silverio's 1 for 3. RBI single, a ground out, and a fielder's choice.
These are those clutch 2-out hits that win championships. 2 outs, runner on second base, new pitcher. You can find a way to get this runner in and chalk that up as a great at-bat.
Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Good start for Katina. Capra certainly a threat on the bases. 8 of 11 this year, stolen base attempts. And obviously a little bit more difficult for Katina. Keep an eye on the runner, given that he's a lefty. That one off the glove of Katina and into center field. Swoop couldn't knock it down. Capra scores easily. 2-out RBI for Luis Silverio.
2-out RBIs. If there's any scouts in the stands today, they would recognize that hit.
Second baseman Nick Capra.
Make a note of it.
Jeff Tam's team gets a couple runs back here in the home half of the 6th. Extend the advantage to 7-3.
All because of that twilight fly ball.
Wild pitch gets past Salva. That'll allow Silverio to advance down to second base. Well, the final numbers on Agus, he goes 5 2/3, gives up 7 runs, all of them earned, 7 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
Katina needs to shake that off. Now he's got another runner in scoring position. Costly pass ball there. Or wild pitch, I guess you could say.
Capra with a 2 RBI triple in the 3rd. That ended a run of 11 consecutive games without an extra base hit for the sophomore infielder. Capra hit .311 last year, .321 coming into the game tonight. Consistent performer now in his 2nd season for this Eastern Florida program.
Way ahead in the count, Capra is.
Taking all the way, and it's a called strike, 3-1.
This is that unbutton your shirt count type swing here. 3-1. The rip.
Capra takes the breaking ball in the dirt, ball 4, and he will trot down to first. Second walk of the inning allowed by Broward pitching. And what looked like it was going to be a fairly harmless inning now could turn into a big one for Eastern Florida if Lima can deliver an extra base hit.
That's what Lima needs. Just a big game here. He's already had a big hit in this bout.
1 for 3. One hit was a triple with an RBI. Capra and Lima went back-to-back triples.
Track meet.
Seems like you always see something in every single baseball game that just rarely, if ever, happens.
That's very true. I guess I never really thought of it that way, but we've seen quite a few of those tonight, though.
There have been some interesting happenings in this one. Lima takes up 1-1. One of the players who Jeff Tam would like to see become a little bit more selective at the plate. Lima 4 walks and 16 strikeouts on the year.
Definitely against Katina here, who hasn't really seemed to locate the strike zone too consistently. Lefty-lefty matchup.
There's a good delivery.
Yeah, very good pitch there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lima is the 7th hitter of the inning for the Titans. Eastern Florida already with 2 runs in. It's a 7-3 game here in the 6th. That's going to run the count full. And the base runners will get a head start.
I have a feeling that if Lima gets on here, this might be the last batter for Katina.
Ramos is next. Ramos hoping to get a chance to bat with the bases loaded. Payoff pitch. Will wait. Katina not 100% comfortable as he looks at Silverio on second base.
Right now that strike zone is about, feels like it's about as big as a softball right now for Katina, I'm sure.
Runners go. Good breaking ball from Katina.
Great pitch.
Lima strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, but a productive inning for Eastern Florida State College. Titans send 7 to the plate. Hit 2 runs on 2 hits. And after 6 complete innings, it's 7-3 Eastern Florida.
Definitely turned up the pace a little bit from the first few innings where it seemed like everybody was retired in order, and now seems like there's a couple base runners every inning.
The half innings have certainly gotten longer here the deeper we get into the game. Noah Dials got the final out of the 6th. He's back out there to begin the 7th. And a dramatic last out it was as Austin Langham hit a stinging line drive right toward the face of Dials, put the glove up, ended up right above his shoulder. Ball was hit so hard it knocked the glove off. Dials was able to recover, get off the mound, and throw out Langham to end the inning.
That was another one of those things you don't see too often, but just keep the composure right there to stay in that play and beat the runner to first there was very impressive.
6, 7, 8 due up for Broward College. That begins with catcher Yordani Salva.
Salva with a solid game behind the plate, barring that one pass ball that got through his leg that he kind of gingerly jogged after and ended up throwing the ball past the first baseman, letting the runner advance to second, ultimately that run scoring.
How difficult is it, and how much time does it take if you're a hitter to adjust to someone like Dials, who is so different from Josh Smith?
In-game is definitely tricky, but ultimately throughout, you've faced guys like these before. You just got to resort back to those memories and how you faced them. Where did that ball come out of? Try to pick up that slot, get your timing down. But definitely is if you're not ready for it, it can get you.
Ball to strike on Salva, who's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a fly out to left.
With these pitchers, it's extremes both ways. Extreme tail on the fastball and extreme cut on the slider. So you just really can't guess. You have to see the ball out of their hand, pick up the rotation.
Salva reaching for that one, pulled it to first, and Lima, unassisted, will make the play.
Another solid defensive play there by the Titan defense.
Credit Lima with a couple of those gems over at first base.
He's made a couple picks, a couple jumping and tagging plays. It's safe to say he's been in the ball game every pitch thus far.
That's something that Jeff Tam talked about. Likes to use the phrase "every pitch matters" to demand focus from his guys, and it's been there from the start tonight. After 10 errors in the last 2 games, Titans have been clean in the field thus far. Broward right now ranked 7th in the latest FCSAA coaches poll, the Florida College System Activities Association. And in second place in the Southern Conference, trying to flip the script on what's happened the last couple of years. One hopper to third, and another slick play by Lima, digging out a low throw from Soto.
He's gotten very few cupcake tosses over there to first, but makes him look easy.
Look back on the last couple of seasons. Last year, Broward finished 22-24. They lost 6 of their last 8 games. In 2013, they were 28-22 and lost 7 of their last 8 games. It's a program that has labored down the stretch the last 2 seasons.
I wonder if that's more of a conditioning thing or an injury thing. Could be all a mental thing that we've talked about, but hopefully this season turns out differently for both these teams. Hopefully they're both reach the playoffs.
Lima flips to Dials. 1-2-3 inning for the Eastern Florida reliever. Quick top half of the 7th. Eastern Florida maintains a 4-run lead at 7-3. Students at Eastern Florida State College can take courses on any of the 4 campuses in Titusville, Cocoa, Melbourne, and Palm Bay. Can also take classes online. Among the many benefits, small class sizes, personalized instruction from outstanding faculty that are committed to helping students reach their goals. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu and become a Titan today.
Power lefty Raymond Katina, taking the mound again. Getting himself out of a little jam there that he kind of created for himself last inning, but pitching with a little more confidence out there in the warm-up pitches. Been throwing a lot of that slider. That's definitely his out pitch.
Eastern Florida trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Worked their way up in the conference standings. Top 2 teams in the Southern Conference automatically advance to the state tournament. Third would be involved in a play-in game. Right now, Eastern Florida 1 game out of that 3rd spot, which is occupied by Miami-Dade College. And defense will be a huge factor down the stretch. More than 60 errors this season for the Titans, 97 a year ago.
This just seems like a foreign number. I mean, doesn't look like that team tonight, though.
FIU transfer Freddie Ramos. Able to hold up on that breaking ball. Steve Skidmore down at first base. Didn't have much of a look at it, but ruled no swing anyway.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Freddie may be the only guy rocking the pants up tonight. At least out on the field so far. Oh, Soto. I just got word that Soto's got his pants up also. Okay.
Well, it's been a good night for those guys.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt to potentially follow the trend.
Yeah. Show off them blue socks.
3-1 on Ramos. He has struck out, produced a sacrifice fly, and walked.
Aggressive hack there on a 3-1. That's what you like to see at 3-1 counts. Nothing more frustrating to see is a check swing strike on a 3-1 count.
A two-strike approach from Ramos as he fouls that one back. In the cleanup spot tonight for Jeff Tam's team.
He got a very smooth swing from the left side, especially facing a left-handed hitter here.
Just as you say that,
Yeah.
Katina drops in a fantastic breaking ball.
Now at the plate, number 28, left fielder.
Yeah,
Christian
usually
Diaz.
lefties resort to that off-speed, that slider, lefty-on-lefty slider, and now they're going for the righty-on-righty matchup, I believe, as Katina may have seen his last batter.
The reigning conference player of the year, Christian Diaz, about to step to the plate. Ben Bezier not going to allow Diaz to see a left-handed pitcher. So Katina goes 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen for Broward College, and on comes Ryan Guerra, native of the Miami area, played his high school baseball at Columbus,
Now pitching for
and a
Broward,
Miami
Ryan
commit,
Guerra.
future Hurricane, comes out of the pen for the Seahawks.
Guy must have some good stuff. Miami's no slouch.
Guerra's numbers this year, not necessarily what you would expect. 5.31 ERA. He's thrown 20 1/3 innings. 21 strikeouts. He's given up 32 hits and 13 runs. The third pitcher of the game comes in for Broward College. Michael Agus started. Raymond Katina on in relief, and now it's Ryan Guerra.
Yeah, coach said they were deep in pitching. He's exercising that fact. Coach Bezier.
Said he had his entire pitching staff ready to go for this series. 4 best relief arms all available. Ideally, you want those guys to come in and hold the lead, but his team right now, 4 runs behind. Eastern Florida with 8 hits in the game.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that one fly ball, it'd still be a 2-run ball game. After that one run scored, and then another run scored.
Looked to be a harmless fly ball off the bat of Vinny Capra. J.C. Milan lost it in the lights, landed about 20 feet behind him. Allowed a run to score. Capra resulted in a double. And he scored on a single from Silverio. And the first pitch from Guerra hits Diaz in the back. Reigning conference player of the year trots down to first. He's on base for the first time tonight.
Fielder Brandon Gomez.
You don't normally see that. First pitch of the outing. Anyways, they'll take the runner and maybe try to get a little hit and run going here. Get some movement out there.
Diaz with 6 steals on the year. I hope I didn't jinx Gomez. Earlier I mentioned he had a hit in all 3 games against Broward this season. 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Was you, wasn't me.
Fouled out to first. A couple of strikeouts for Gomez.
Ooh, closer there at first. Safely retreats back to the bag. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a pitch out here or something. Oh, there's the hit and run though.
Diaz on the move as Gomez fouled it back.
You could almost feel like there's something was going on that that play. Broward just fighting to stay in this ball game. Could really use a double play.
Now even more attention being paid to Diaz. Last 2 games in this series, both decided by 1 run. 6-5 victory for Eastern Florida. And a 7-6 win by Broward on March 14th. And again, this is the first of 4 games between these 2 teams in a span of 9 days.
They're gonna get sick of each other, sick of looking at each other.
One and 2 on Gomez.
He's strange. He threw all those warm-up pitches. Great looking pitches. First pitch of the first batter, pegged him. Threw 2 more strikes, and then that one almost squared the umpires in the helmet.
Guerra, big arm out of the Broward bullpen. A couple rough outings this season, reason for the high ERA.
Strange, you and I always doing these high school games. I keep looking at our notes to see what positions they play also, these pitchers, because the pitchers always play position, swing the bat, and it's like, oh, that's right.
A lot of POs at this level.
Yes, yes.
Diaz stepping to the bag rather than sliding made that play a lot closer than it should have been. Two-two pitch on the outside corner, and James Kuhn calls it strike 3.
Gomez, hopefully he gets another at bat, or else you're to blame, Austin.
Had a long way to go.
Yeah, that was a tough pitch, dude. That was like a couple inches outside, but like I said, Kuhn's been sticking to that zone that he's established early on in this game.
11 strikeouts for Broward pitching tonight. Jeff Cordy is 1 for 3. Singled in the third, couple of ground outs to second base since.
He just missed that one. Timing was perfect, just right under it.
Fouled it onto the roof of the clubhouse. Still a little bit of construction to do here at Bruce Bochy Field. But this facility is in fantastic shape.
Absolutely. Very impressed.
You hear about a community college or a two-year school, and there's kind of a stigma attached to the expectation of facilities. But you come here to the Melbourne campus of Eastern Florida. We were here for the FHSAA boys and girls soccer finals. Ton of games over 2 weeks. The soccer field held up remarkably well. This baseball facility going to be very nice when it's completed, starting work on a new softball campus. And successful basketball programs that play in a nice gym. That one hit into center field. J.C. Milan over to his right, reaching back to retire the side. 7 complete innings here in Brevard County. Eastern Florida trying to start the stretch run of the regular season with a win over a team above them in the standings. And right now, a 4-run advantage with 2 innings to go.
Come down the home stretch. Last couple innings. See who can lock in here. See if Titans have what it takes to hold on, and see if Broward Seahawks have a comeback brewing.
It'll be 9-1-2 for Broward here in the top half of the 8th. Eastern Florida's athletic programs keep growing with 9 varsity sports now in action. Home games are played on the college's new state-of-the-art sports complex on the Melbourne campus. That includes facilities for soccer, tennis, volleyball, basketball, and baseball, and a planned new facility for softball going up this year. The complex hosts major national collegiate events such as the NGCAA Division I Women's Soccer National Championship Tournament, and it's a valuable asset to the community. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu and become a Titan today. This will be the 3rd inning of relief for Dials. Came into the game with 2 runners on in the top half of the 6th. That dramatic line out. And 1-2-3 went Broward College in the 7th.
A lot of sometimes with these submarine guys, they got good stuff. They got good movement on their ball, but they aren't usually, typically, the best at controlling it. But not the case tonight. Pounding the strike zone, getting ahead in batters.
Off the plate, number 10, Balter.
Max Balter came on as a pinch hitter for Elliot Gonzalez. Part of a run of 3 consecutive singles to begin the 6th. And he stays in there for his 2nd at bat.
Balter, definitely a swing first guy. 37 strikeouts to 9 walks. Says if you ain't swinging, you don't give yourself a chance, right?
Not a ratio that's going to please Ben Beazier. Hasn't taken the bat through the zone yet, and he's behind 0-2. High chopper. Capra got a pretty generous bounce. Had to be quick with it, but does retire Balter.
Great hands there. I think I blinked in the time that he caught it and released it. Very quick hands there at second base by Vinny.
Off the plate, 21, Victor.
5 putouts tonight for Vinny Capra, starting shortstop. Lineup turns over to Tyler Fichter, sophomore left fielder. It was a key for Eastern Florida to not allow Fichter to get on base, and he's yet to reach tonight, 0 for 3.
Let's check that play out again. High chopper right off the bat. I was like, oh, that's going to be a tough one. Bam. Good transfer from the glove to the hand, and once again, another great stretch by Lima at first.
Generous strike call there for Noah Dials.
Tell you what, he's been consistent with it though. Haven't seen too many close inside pitches called strikes. Almost want to Just go out there and just tell these batters to move up on the plate a little bit. Take that away from them.
That one moving back into the zone. 1-2 on Fichter, who is committed to Columbus State. Division II school located in Georgia, member of the Peach Belt Conference. One of 7 players on this roster who have either committed or signed to 4-year schools. A great approach by Fichter, goes the other way. And he's got the potential to run for a while. Wide turn at second base, he'll stop there. Diaz did a nice job cutting that off before it got to the fence. 1-out double for Fichter. He knew sooner or later he was going to find his way on base. It's rare that he goes 0 for in a game.
Yeah, and like you said, right when he made contact, that was a great approach. Staying late with 2 strikes. If you get jammed, you get jammed. But that pitch was away. Found a barrel. Drove to the left side. Got a double. Runner in scoring position. 1 out.
Only the second extra base hit of the game for Broward. Alvin Swoop will bat with a runner in scoring position. Had 3 RBI the last time these teams met.
Swoop, like I said last time, he looks like a tough out. The way his stance, he's crouched down wide. Gets that foot down early. See if he can't get something in play.
Long swing there from Swoop for strike number 1.
Yeah, way out in front of that slider there. He saw it the first pitch too and took it. Got fooled on the second one.
About 2/3 of the way through the season, Broward was 12-15, below 500. Ben Bezier knew he had a talented team. Getting Swoop and Andres Lopez back to full strength, a big part of their success here the last several weeks. The win over Eastern Florida back in mid-March started a run of 11 wins in 13 games. And now they sit at 23-17.
Seems like both these teams kind of going on their streaks, you know. They play each other quite a few times, you know, in this conference.
Now at the plate, number
like
17, Lopez.
Some points, you know, I really would like to see the splits in between teams match up, see how evenly paired that is by the end of the season. Obviously not midway, but
that was the first strikeout for Dials. Now Andres Lopez. Josh Smith in line for the win. Went the first 5 2/3. Left with 2 runners on base. Noah Dials came out of the bullpen and has been solid since entering the game.
Absolutely.
Only base runner has been Fichter with a 1-out double here in the 8th. Long look at second base for Dials. That one slashed down the left field line. Lands in foul territory.
yeah, there's nothing more relieving to know that you have a solid relief pitcher that can go in there and get 3 innings with no runs. Be the case here if Dials can get through this inning and the 9th.
Another strike down the third base line. Now 1-2 on Lopez. He's got the biggest hit of the game for Broward College. A 2-out, 2 RBI single back in the top of the 6th.
Having a decent at-bat here.
Only player tonight who has driven in any runs for the Seahawks.
Why stop now? Runner in scoring position. See if he goes with the off speed here.
Speedy Fichter on second base with 2 out. 1-2 off-speed delivery gets Lopez swinging. Noah Dial strikes out the final 2 hitters of the inning. 7.5 complete now at Bruce Bochy Field. And Eastern Florida maintains that 4-run advantage. Congratulations for Dials as he goes back into the dugout. He has been fantastic out of the bullpen for Jeff Tam.
Yeah, absolutely. And before he came out, he was thinking Josh Smith, player of the game all day. Now Dials making himself a case here. Come in and really steal that momentum back and bring it over to the Titans dugout. So, I don't know. Who do you think?
Well, we still got a little ways to go.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure there's anybody in the batting order who's been that impressive. Boy, Lima's been strong at first base for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And definitely Vinny Capra over at shortstop made quite a few plays.
He's 2 for 3 at the plate with an RBI.
Okay.
We'll see. You'll get a chance to talk to Jeff Tam, and assuming the score holds up, number of players that I'm sure he'll want to talk about for their performance this evening.
Yes, absolutely. He's got to be happy with his guys thus far and see if they can hold this one out, squeak it out for another win, and bring over some momentum into tomorrow's ball game.
A win tonight
Leading off
would make it interesting. If Eastern Florida can sweep Broward College, they would get within a half game of the Seahawks in the conference standings. Be 11-9. Broward would be 11-8 when they leave here on Saturday evening.
That would land them safely in third, giving them at least into the play-in game. Is that correct?
That depends on what happens with Miami-Dade, Palm Beach State. Indian River really the only team that's out of it in the Southern Conference. They're 3-15, 10-23 overall.
You got to love that, though, having 4 of the 5 guys fighting for it in the last quarter of the season.
Well, this is such a great league, not just in baseball, but in a lot of other sports as well. Junior college programs in Florida among the best as Soto flies out to right field. Soto, guy who's had a good game and a spot start.
Not batting.
1 for 2. He's been on base 3 times tonight. The aforementioned Vinny Capra, who is 2 for 3, gets a chance to hit against Guerra.
Vinny Capra, a little guy when he's standing up there, but he plays big. I'll tell you that much. There's a presence out there.
One of 3 Capra boys in the program. Twin John, a freshman. Older brother Nick, now a sophomore. And all 3 won a state championship with Melbourne Central Catholic a couple of years ago. Worth mentioning again, 8 players on this Eastern Florida roster from Brevard County, an emphasis by Jeff Tam to keep some of the best players along the Space Coast playing close to home.
Yeah, you always want to keep your local guys and fan favorites and stuff. It's always good for the program, and I always knew over at UCF whenever we had all the Central Florida boys, you know, going to UCF playing under Terry Rooney, and it was always just a good article to have. And you know, it's where these guys were born and raised, and now they're trying to help this college out, help this program.
Capra foul tips it into the glove of Salva.
Now the play,
Two down,
number
bases
15,
empty for Luis Silverio. Guerra struck out 2 of the 5 hitters he's faced. Only batter to reach was Christian Diaz. That was because Guerra's first pitch hit him square in the back.
Yeah, Guerra has been impressive.
Given how under control he's been since that point, you wonder if there's some history between those two.
Guess we'll find out.
A nasty breaking ball. Made Silverio look silly on that swing, 0-2.
It almost looked like he was guessing at that pitch, but now with 2 strikes, look for him to spread out, put the ball in play.
Does just that. Hits it hard to short. And the play is made by Swoop. Titans retired in order in the bottom half of the 8th, and Eastern Florida finds itself 3 defensive outs away from an important conference victory. Dial's going to have to deal with the heart of the Broward batting order, 4, 5, 6, starting with cleanup hitter J.C. Milan.
See if we can close this ball game out.
Dial's back out there to begin the 9th inning for Jeff Tam's team. Josh Smith went 5 2/3, and he was the story in the early part of the game. Perfect through 5 innings. Didn't make it out of the 6th. Gave up 3 runs, 5 hits. Left the game with 2 runners on base. Dials came in, got the final hitter in the 6th, and he has been solid ever since. A 1-out double to Fichter in the 8th. He's the only batter to reach against Noah Dials.
Anxious to see if Dials can close this game out.
Leading off for the Seahawks,
Also,
number 14,
really like to see Seahawks try to mount a little comeback here and get something going here. All it takes is a few hits strung together, and we've seen it do it earlier in the game.
Milan 1 for 3 with a double tonight. Now 7 for 14 this season against Eastern Florida. Guy with good baseball bloodlines. Father played for the Cuban national team. Milan hit over 500 last year for Miami Brito, 2A state champion. Odd to see a guy make the type of transition that Milan has. He was the leadoff hitter for his high school team, now the cleanup hitter in his first year in college.
Yeah, I can't say that was the same case for me or most people out there, but if you can do it.
Milan trying to go the other way, which is what he did back in the 6th. Shot the ball just inside the first base bag and past the glove of Lima for a double.
And Milan, he's got a very good swing. You can definitely see he keeps his eye on the ball all the way to contact, enabling him to punch that ball down the line.
Two and two on Milan. Makes everybody feel more comfortable if you can get the first out, the leadoff hitter in the 9th.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's definitely a game changer, and that's what the Titans have done so well this game.
Dials misses inside. It hits Milan. So he will walk down to first base. Ben Beasley are going to come out of the dugout to check on his center fielder.
Now batting number 7, Langham.
That one looked a little painful. Kinda squared him up. That one did not deflect too far. Gives him a moment to shake that one off.
Beasley are satisfied that Milan's going to be able to stay in the game. And he's got speed at first base, but obviously emphasis at this point is just getting guys on. You see action in the Eastern Florida bullpen. Miguel Castellanos, right-hander from Venezuela, quickly starting to warm up. With Lamoureux unavailable, Jeff Tam told us Castellanos would be the guy if Eastern Florida needed a closer type at the end of the game.
But it's hard to pull a guy out like Dials, who's been dialed in for most of this second half of this game.
Austin Langham just twists out of the way as that continues to curve in for a called strike. 0-2 on Langham, who had the most exciting at-bat of the game. A stinging line drive that popped the glove of Dials off his hand. That was the way the 6th inning ended. Oh-2 put into play onto first base for 1, and an errant throw that's going to get into the Broward College dugout. So Langham is going to get a free pass down to second base. Eastern Florida gets an out. Langham now in scoring position.
Got off the end of the bat there and tried to go for the double play and wasn't able to do so, but looks to punch it to the right side. It's a great play. I don't think anybody was able to get back to the bag at first, and leads that throw into the dugout.
Yordani Salva bats with 1 out. Salva's 0 for 3 tonight. Came in with an average of .336. 12 extra base hits, so certainly a guy who has some pop. First pitch swinging, that's stung into right field. It hangs up for Brandon Gomez. A frustrating night for Salva. Hit a couple of balls well, but he's 0 for 4. And Eastern Florida now 1 out away. Joseph Collazo bats with 2 outs, represents the final hope for Broward College. Noah Dials trying to finish off a superb relief appearance out of the Eastern Florida bullpen. Collazo 1 for 3, singled in the 6th, scored on a wild pitch. That was the first run of the game for Broward. Grounder to third, in between hop for Soto. And another good stretch from Alessandro Lima, fitting that he makes a play to end it. Eastern Florida State College gets an important win. They go back above 500 in the Southern Conference standings. Now 10-9, 22-17 overall, 7-3 the final. We'll be back to hear from Jeff Tam after this timeout.
Watch your Titans take on the Indian River State Pioneers, live Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m. on WEFS.
For new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, computer information technologies, and healthcare. Eastern Florida. Apply today.
We're back at Bruce Bochy Field on the Melbourne campus of Eastern Florida State College. The Titans victorious tonight as they start their most important conference series of the year. 7-3 is the final count. Eastern Florida got off to a 5-0 lead in this game. 5 runs scored by the Titans in the third inning as they staked their starter Josh Smith to an impressive advantage. And how good was Smith? Perfect through the first 5 innings of the game. And Noah Dials came on in relief to finish off a quality start. The head coach of the Titans, Jeff Tam, is standing by on the field with our Alex Friedrich.
Welcome to Bruce Bochy Field. I'm standing here with Coach Jeff Tam. Obviously, great game, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Awesome game. And first thing I want to talk about is Smith. Perfect through 5. What do you have to say about that start?
You know, we couldn't be more happy with the start he gave us. He's done a great job all year. I think he started to run out of gas a little bit, but, you know, the later you get in the year, you know, that's going to happen, and we just evaluate, and, you know, what a start.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, coming in relief, Dials. What an amazing, I mean, he was getting ahead of batters every single out, making them swing at balls, getting ahead, strike 1, strike 2. What do you think about him coming out in relief?
He's done a great job all year. The key is with him keeping him focused on the mound the whole time. And, you know, he's got great stuff from down under, slider for strikes, fastball, command. You know, if you can come in and compete in the strike zone down there with that velocity, you're going to be successful.
Was there any words exchanged after that line drive that almost nearly took his head off, and he grabbed it with the glove, and then the ball kicked off, and he ended up making the play? Was any? I saw it almost looked like he had a look on his face like, oh my goodness.
He was a little bit of deer in the headlights, but I told him I field that ball when I played. I expect him to field that ball too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And lastly, I want to talk about your defense. I mean, we usually talk about, you know, you say you've been having some troubles in defense lately, and then today you had great play at shortstop. Was it Vinny over at shortstop today? That was a late addition to the lineup, and he really held it down, and so did everybody else.
Yeah, Vinny's done a great job. He's, you know, floats between short and second, but you know, we've had some defensive woes, and today they stepped up like young men and competed, and you know, I couldn't be happier with, you know, just the routine plays. And even Vinny had some plays with some short hops that were very, very tough, and he did a tremendous job for us.
Yeah, he definitely handled them well. And, well, Coach, great game, and I wish you the best of luck tomorrow and the end of your season here.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That's Jeff Tam, the head coach at Eastern Florida State College. His team improves to 22-17. They get their 10th conference win of the year, now a game above 500 in the Southern Conference standings, and just a half game out of third place, where Miami-Dade College currently sits. Impressive game from start to finish tonight for the Titans. You see that 5 spot in the third inning. Eastern Florida putting together 4 hits during the third inning, 5 runs, including back-to-back triples. 1 from Nick Capra, 1 from Alessandro Lima. Silverio 2 for 5. Nick Capra 1 for 3. Both of those guys produced 2 RBIs at the bottom of the order. Vinny Capra with 2 RBIs as well tonight. 7-3 is the final score. Strong performance from Eastern Florida State College. We're back after this.
Watch your Titans take on the Indian River State Pioneers, live Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m. on WEFS.
For new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, computer information technologies, and healthcare. Eastern Florida. Apply today.
We continue with our post-game coverage here at Bruce Bochy Field as Eastern Florida celebrates a victory over Broward College, beginning a 2-game set here in Melbourne. First of 4 games these teams will play in a 9-day period. Let's show you some of the highlights from tonight's game. And offensively, Eastern Florida really got things started in that 3rd inning. 5 runs. They got 4 hits in the 3rd. Back-to-back triples from Nick Capra and Alessandro Lima. Good game off the bench. Didn't expect Angel Soto to start. He had a couple of hits. Reached base in 3 of his plate appearances. 5 runs in the 3rd. Eastern Florida would add 2 more in the 6th. This is the triple by Nick Capra that really ignited the offense. Speedy second baseman with a 2 RBI triple. That was followed immediately by Alessandro Lima. Capra able to trot home on that triple by Lima. Freddie Ramos would produce a sacrifice fly. Also saw some good defense from Eastern Florida, a team that had committed 10 errors in the last couple of games. Lima outstanding at first base tonight. Eastern Florida provided a lot of support for starter Josh Smith, who again was perfect through 5 innings. There's one of the hits from Soto. Titans ended up chasing Michael Agus, the starter for Broward, after he went 5 2/3 innings. Agus gives up 7 runs on 7 hits. All 7 of the runs were earned despite 8 strikeouts. Eastern Florida produced really up and down the lineup tonight. Wasn't just the heart of the order. Ramos, the cleanup hitter, drew a walk in the 5th, and it was in the 6th when the Titans scored a pair of runs. One of the few base running mistakes is Lima got caught in a rundown there. And after 5 2/3 of strong work from Josh Smith, Noah Dials came in the game. He was certainly dialed in after Smith gave way. Perfect through 5 innings. They gave up 3 runs in the 6th. Broward College battled back to make it a 5-3 game. But in the 6th, bottom half of the 6th inning, and here's how that ended. Dials takes a ball right off the glove, ends up going wide of the mound. He would throw out the runner. That was a huge play. J.C. Milan gets lost in center field, as Eastern Florida got a couple of runs in the bottom half of the 6th, and that was key. The final runs of the game scored in the bottom half of the 6th as the Titans prevailed 7-3 tonight. Same 2 teams will do it again tomorrow as Eastern Florida tries to inch its way up the Southern Conference standings. For our entire WEFS crew, Austin Lyon saying so long from Bruce Bochy Field.
On January 15th, the Eastern Florida State College softball team held its 2015 Spring Media Day. This season, Titans head coach Ed Yanis looks to take the young team to its 11th straight postseason. To do so, he'll need total commitment from the entire team, a call that prompted this year's slogan, All In.
That's our model this year, and everybody buys into the system and our coaching staff, and we look at it this way. It's not so much they're behind us. We want to look down the line and see if everybody's with us.
When Coach showed us the shirts and we saw the motto and it was all in, I completely agree with it. I think we all need to be all in for this season to be as successful as we want it to be. Defense is a real big strength for us, and I also do believe that hitting is this year. It's definitely a lot better than it was last year, but mechanic-wise and technique-wise, we have a strong hitting team.
I think the team chemistry is already there. I think it came very natural to us this year, so I don't really think that's an issue for us this year, but definitely just keeping our minds right and keeping one focus. Towards the end of the year, our team is outrageously good this year, and I feel like we will go very far. So as long as we keep our minds right and one goal together, I think it'll be very easy for us to go deeper into the tournament.
We got more speed than we did last year. Our bats are pretty powerful. Our defense is, we have a pretty solid defense, and we have like multiple people in multiple positions, so it's like we can switch them all out. So I feel like our defense is pretty set where it needs to be.
Admission to all home games is free, so check the schedule and come out and support your Titans.
It's a very fast game. It's very interesting to watch, and I think you'd see that we're a very solid team.
The Eastern Florida State College men's golf team showed extremely well at its first tournament of the 2015 season, notching second place and finishing only behind four-year school Weber International University. EFSC finished first among two-year programs. Top Titans honor went to Brad Gray, who finished third overall and only one stroke behind the leader with rounds of 71, 72, and 79 for a total of 222 over the 2 days. The Titans Winter Invitational Tournament hosted 15 colleges and 17 teams at Suntree Country Club in Melbourne, Florida. The Titans are looking for their 13th consecutive trip to the national tournament and their first national championship since 1991. Spectators are welcome at all Titan home tournaments, so check the website for the next one and come out and support your Titans. On January 6th, the Eastern Florida State College tennis team held its 2015 Spring Media Day. While it's only Wally Norwich's first full season as head coach, his decades of coaching experience bring high expectations.
Tennis has been my life. This is where I got my first start, of course, in college tennis. It's awesome for me to come back almost full circle and give to the community, see this develop. I want to see this team be the first team to go to nationals. That would be awesome. I mean, I'd love to see it. I did it as a player. I'd love to see it as a coach. And I think it'll happen. It's definitely going to happen.
I think with our season being in the spring, having the matches and a semester, to get ahead is really what it was. It was like, you get all the nerves out, you get all the jitters, you say, hey, yeah, I can do this, okay. You find out what strategies work for you on and off the court, what habits you need to have, what you need to do to be able to produce certain results.
I think I challenge myself. I try to beat myself every practice because that's the way I improve. And if I lose a game, I'm going to be better the next practice to improve myself and play better the next match.
I definitely improved a lot during the beginning of fall. During our first tournament, I did really well. I had an injury towards the end of it, so I kind of fell back a little bit, but I'm working on getting back up to the level I was at beginning of fall.
My personal goals is just getting better, getting more confidence on the court, and winning more matches. And for the team, I would like us to go to nationals. That's the ultimate goal.
Check the college website for the next home match and come out and support your Titans.